And you're watching Sporting Icons.
Okay, so for those of you who've been with me over the last few months, really, I've been covering the whole Filip Hrgovic saga as to is he actually going to get an opponent for the IBF final eliminator to become the mandatory challenger to Anthony Joshua and Oleksandr Usyk winner. Currently Oleksandr Usyk, of course. Now, obviously Tony Yoka, we know about all that saga. If you don't know about it, it's here on the channel. In fact, it'll pop up as this video goes along. And quite a few other opponents have recently turned down Filip Hrgovic. Andy Ruiz Jr. and Murat Gassiev being the latest two. Now, Zhilei Zhang, Chinese heavyweight. He's 38 years old. He's an okay fighter, that's for sure. 23 wins with a draw. Out of those 23 wins, 18 knockouts. So on paper, he looks pretty good. Of course, he is a former silver medalist at the Olympic Games. But the thing is, though, with Zhilei Zhang is that he's only been fighting journeyman. He's yet to do a 12-round fight, even a scheduled 12-round fight. He's been fighting journeyman his entire career, maybe with the exception of Jerry Forrest, if we're being brutally honest. I mean, Jerry Forrest, he has been, he has lost on 4 occasions prior to fighting Zhilei Zhang, or Zhilei, depending on what it is that you want to call him. It seems to be changing all the time. But Jerry Forrest, he got a draw with Zhilei Zhang. I thought that he'd beat Zhilei Zhang. I do. Much like I thought Jerry Forrest defeated Michael Hunter last time out. Again, he got a draw. Michael Hunter, of course, has recently defeated Jerry Forrest, and Gerald Washington knocked out Jerry Forrest. So that'll kind of tell you where Jerry Forrest is. He's a good fighter. I'm not saying he's not, but he's not up there. He's really not. But Zhilei Zhang, is he ready for a Filip Hrgovic? Filip Hrgovic, don't get me wrong, I think Filip Hrgovic is, again, he hasn't fought anybody who you would probably go, you know what, he is a phenomenal fighter. He's ready for all the top guys and that out there. No, I don't think Filip Hrgovic is kind of that way in the sense of he hasn't beaten anybody that would make you go, yeah. But at the same time, Filip Hrgovic, 14 wins, undefeated, 12 of those by knockout. His best opponents, I mean, I don't know, would it be Eric Molina or a Gregory Corbin or Rydell Booker maybe? I don't know. But again, he hasn't really proven it himself just yet. And even if he defeats Zhilei Zhang, I don't think even that win would make him ready for some of the top guys out there. But there again, maybe he's already going to be there. He looks the part. In fact, he reminds me a lot of Vitaly Klitschko in exactly how he looks and, of course, his fighting style. So I think he's a phenomenal talent, that is for sure. But being only 29 years old, of course, he's still got a few years to grow anyway. But him taking on Zhilei Zhang, I would heavily favour Filip Hrgovic to do an absolute number on Zhilei Zhang. I would. I said I think Zhilei Zhang is good. He is good. But he's not as good as Filip Hrgovic. I think him accepting this fight, you have to give huge props to Zhilei Zhang, that a lot of people would turn this fight down. A lot of people have turned down Filip Hrgovic, whether it be for financial reasons or most probably risk versus reward. Even though the reward, it may not be financially life-changing, but the reward is that you could be fighting the winner of Joshua Usyk too. You could well be, especially with how the belts are. The mandatory situation is pretty fragmented at the minute. You never know. And the IBF are pretty strict on calling their mandatory challenger. When they call it, if the champion doesn't do it next, they get stripped. So therefore, the winner of this fight could potentially be fighting for a vacant belt or even get elevated to full champion. But loads of people turn it down. Luis Ortiz, Andy Ruiz Jr., has Joe Joyce, has he even turned it down? Because obviously he was quite high up on the list. Tony Yoka, we know about that situation, and quite a few others. Michael Hunter previously, more famously. But at least Zhilei Zhang, he is willing to step up. Now, part of me kind of wishes that he would decline it, because next in line will be Hughie Fury. I think Hughie Fury has more of a chance of defeating Filip Hrgovic than Zhilei Zhang. In fact, if I'm being brutally honest, I'll probably favour Hughie Fury to defeat Filip Hrgovic, just on boxing skill alone, because I don't think Filip Hrgovic will catch him. But Zhilei Zhang, I don't know, he's kind of got the same kind of legs as Tyson Fury, they're kind of twisted a bit bent. So I don't think that Zhilei Zhang is really going to be competitive in this fight. He may win or be competitive for the first couple of rounds, but ultimately, as it goes down the stretch, Filip Hrgovic is going to take over him. But of course, it's heavyweight division. I mean, you never know. You never know. I mean, maybe Zhilei Zhang will just catch Filip Hrgovic, and while people think Hrgovic has this Vitaly Klitschko-esque jaw, he may not have. So there's always a chance, but I'm pretty sure Kalle Sauerland, Nisse Sauerland, Eddie Hearn will be delighted. The fact that it's going to be Zhilei Zhang, it's almost a guaranteed pass into the final eliminator status as the mandatory challenger. It is. And to do that in only, 13 fights, you do have to say congratulations to Nisse and Kalle Sauerland, Wasserman now, of course, along with Matchroom and Eddie Hearn for getting him into that position so quickly. Anyway, drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next video.